Tonight on Podcast Them Down, we continue our impartial, objective analysis of why Maryland's flag is the best in the whole goddamn union.
Cast them down!
Hail Metal Nation, it is we, Podcast Them Down, once again. We are working through every state flag in the United States and rating its quality and metalness. We last left off at Montana, who, to remind everyone that they live in a state called Montana, they wrote it huge on the flag above their lazily pasted state seal, so hopefully we'll see some better flags this time, but it surely won't be Nebraska, because it's just the state seal of Nebraska on a blue field. That's it.
That's it.
3x5. It was adopted April 2nd, 1925, and then as a banner design standardization, and then as the official state flag on July 16th, 1963. That's it. Designed by Florence Hazen Miller. Another woman designed this, so we have to check what state it was.
Up to five women who designed the only flag designed by women. Yeah.
Right.
We really need to figure out what caused this like late 19th, early 20th century woman-led flag initiative, because it seems like most of these states, whether they're new states or old states, had this sort of itching desire to have a state flag round about this time.
Oh, I think I read why and already forgot. I think there was some precipitating event where they like called for flags, and then only, and
I think
60% of states were able to respond.
I bet they all were
what?
Kind of channeling Betsy Ross. It's like, what if it was designed by a woman? We'll say we're the only one, and then 5 of them so far have been the only one.
I have some questions about this flag. Number, why is the train stalled out?
Okay, yeah, let's describe the seal.
Ship stalled out?
Let's describe this. So there's a river with some mountain, and way in the background there's a mountain with a train floating about a third of the way up it, and then there's a guy, a blacksmith, in the foreground, hammering something tiny on an anvil.
He's making individual nails.
Yeah, and then there's a couple like wheat bales and a fence and a house, like a tiny little house. Yeah, it's not much.
Yeah, there's some perspective issues here.
Oh, and a steamboat.
Like that must be a gigantic train, given the other objects in this picture.
Now I really want to score this high because of the anvil, but yes, he's making railroad spikes at the biggest. He's probably making 2 paper clips or something.
Actually, I think railroad spikes make sense because there's clearly no track in front of the locomotive, so Doug, it's sitting there because it's waiting for the rest of the track to be built. Because it's Nebraska. It's like, this is as far as we've gotten so far. So that makes sense.
Like they took their seal and then they like embossed it. And in the embossment process, it like contrasted out some detail that answers all these.
Oh, and it says equality before the law in a ribbon in the sky.
Like a fine motto, I guess. I dislike the fact that they missed an opportunity here. They could have made this blacksmith a sexy blacksmith, and you can tell because they're kind of making him muscular. But then they pulled their punch and gave him collars to make it clear he was wearing a shirt. And I think a shirtless apron blacksmith would be a lot cooler. Yeah, it should have been
to make this a great seal / flag. The train needs to be on tracks first of all.
Yeah,
the blacksmith needs to be hunky. And
yeah,
you got to be pounding like a sword or something.
Yeah, the sword of justice and equality before the law.
That would get, qualities and metalness of half of 5 out of 10 across the board for me. It's It's still a seal on a blue flag.
Yeah.
Poorly executed. Better than Montana's, though. I'll give them that, because there's a train and an anvil. So I'm going to go all the way to 2 on quality and 2 on metalness.
I'll agree. I'm going to give them a 2 on metalness. I think they could have been a 10 with the simple change of the railroad spike to a sword, and then changing their motto to a quality before the blade. Like, I'm all in there.
Yes.
But they didn't do that. 2 quality. I do appreciate that they gave in to the temptation to put the word Nebraska on their flag, but they at least did it in a subtle way, unlike Montana and some of these other states. So I appreciate that. You didn't resist the urge, but you did it in a way that's less jarring.
Well, right, because this is their seal.
Quality.
They've just chosen to put the seal as a discrete thing on the flag. They're not. There's no interpretation.
What's your quality number, Matt?
What did we give Kentucky?
2 and 2.
Okay. What did we give Kentucky? I 1 and 2 on quality and 1 and 3 on metalness. So you liked it more than Matt and I did.
Well, it's the homoeroticism, but that's right. It was better in a previous version of the flag. All right, so that's not fair. I just got to recalibrate. What did we give?
Yeah. This is how we maintain our objectivity. Connecticut was a 1, 4, and 2 for quality, and a 2, a 0.7, and a 2 for metalness. That was the one with all the grapes, I believe.
Yeah, those Connecticut grapes.
And last one, Montana.
Montana 113222, which is also the zip code in Montana.
So this is a 1. Oh, it's not. It's a 2 and a 2. Fuck. All that.
Wow, straight
up
2.
The same place.
How about that?
See, the system works.
All right, next. I'm going to say it wrong just to piss them off.
Oh, no.
Nevada.
Oh.
All right.
So, what?
Nevada. Nevada's flag is the... I'm hung up on saying Nevada. Well, first of all, its proportion is 2 to 3. It was adopted July 25th, 1991, and it is a solid cobalt blue field. The canton contains 2 sagebrush branches encircling a silver star with the text Nevada and Battleborn. I will say the most metal thing about this is it says Battleborn on it.
That's pretty metal.
You know, they barely tried. They put their name on the flag, which, you know, is a no-no. They're sagebrush, like I feel like I'm getting hay fever. And there's all this wasted space on the flag too. So.
It does seem very wasteful. Especially compared to the previous 2 Nevada flags. So there's a Nevada flag used from 1905 to 1915, which is just the word Nevada, a bunch of stars, and then silver up top and gold down below, which I think is an incredible Nevada flag. Then
I have this flag right in a box there. It's a work of art, and it's advertising, and which makes you want to go there. It's like an ad you can also use as your flag.
Then they moved to a blue flag. They moved to the state seal model. But first of all, Nevada doesn't have a round state seal, and they just left all the fucking stars everywhere. Not great, but better than this. And even the last iteration of the flag, the 1929 to 1991 flag, is better. Not that one. There's one that has the word
Jesus.
Nevada. And like
it's not showing up on my thing. I gotta see if I can fix this, because you gotta see how dumb this is.
This is like
dumb.
It's like they spilled the alphabet box, and they're just like, well, all the letters are there.
This is like using a crayon and describing, arrange the letters around the star.
I can't see why anyone. This design was used for 60 years. They're like, "Are you okay with that?" Yup.
Looks good to me. Did you see this redesign?
Yeah. I mean, that is.
It's trying. I think it's trying too hard to be Alaska, but it's.
Yeah.
I think it's a good try.
But I like the 53 one.
The 53 one is good too. That was the one with the map that you showed a bit ago.
The 53 one and the 2000 one feel so of the era.
Yeah.
Like and I guess you can make the same argument at the 1905 to 1915, but that's a hell of an era.
Right.
For Nevada.
That's where Nevada needs to be. Battleborn doesn't really make any sense for Nevada because there weren't any battles, or at least any important battles related to the creation of the state. It's just because it became a state during the Civil War.
I assume the battles were were against the people already living there. That's what I assumed.
Well, I mean, Nevada's relatively. There were some battles in Nevada, but compared to other places in the Southwest, not many. There's some, but not that great. So yeah.
Well, and this is yet another instance where the governor's flag is what the state flag should be, if you accept this design premise.
Yeah.
But I think they had this design in a very distinctive way, and then they just sandbagged it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to see how it prints, but I hate the anti-aliasing, or the outline on Nevada, probably for legibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is worse than Nebraska's flag, and the only thing, like Nebraska's flag, there's only one thing that makes it metal, and that would be, in this case, Battleborn. I'm going 1.5 and 1.5.
That's a 1 and a 1. They had two great flags, and then the one that looks like a football, which is at least different.
Yeah, I have to go with a 1 and a 1. They missed their opportunity here.
All right, next is New Hampshire. So it's another state seal on a flag. Proportion 2:3, adopted January 1st, 1932. State seal wrapped by a golden laurel wreath with 9 stars on a blue field. And it says, Seal of the State of New Hampshire, 1776. And it's a boat that has beached itself.
Yeah, has it run aground? Is that?
And it's at dawn because there's a sun low in the sky, and we're on the East Coast for New Hampshire. So
okay, so it's a boat. It's a boat being launched.
No, it's not.
That's what it says.
I don't care what it says. That is beached. So I guess they back boats into the water then. Also,
yeah, you do back. Wait, didn't you work for the Navy?
There's a southerly wind. I want to point that out as well.
There is a southerly wind. Okay. Yeah.
Well, so the way if you're wondering, the way they launch boats now is sideways. So.
Oh, they do blap. Yeah, they do that. So I think these white things, these white kind of toothy things that at first I thought were oars, I think these are braces keeping the ship up.
Oh yeah, that's called something.
Yeah, whatever those are called.
It's the frigate USS Raleigh.
See. Okay, so even though I generally dislike blue state seal flags, I actually think this is a fairly good blue state seal flag. I like how they have incorporated none of our traditional imagery of New Hampshire in it. There's no granite. There's no living, free, or dying. It's almost like this is from a parallel universe where there's an alternate New Hampshire.
It is an ode to the an industry that is no longer there.
Yeah.
Is Portsmouth, does the military build there at least?
Not
or is
anymore.
it all gone?
Not anymore. And if you know anything about the geography,
they only build in Wisconsin, Maine, Virginia, and Mississippi, and occasionally Alabama.
But if you know anything about the geography of New Hampshire, like the part that touches the sea is the tiniest fraction of the state.
It's like 20 minutes on 95.
Yeah. So again, it's just like this is not. It's strangely incongruous with real New Hampshire, and for that I think it's a pretty metal choice. So I'm going to give this a 5 metal choice, and it's actually not. I think it's the seal is well done. I like color. You can have color in your fucking flag. Use it. It's a 5 and a 6 quality. 5 metal, 6 quality.
I think this is the best state seal on a flag we've seen so far, but it's still a state seal on a flag, so it's going to be a 3. The metalness also a 3. It could be way more metal, like firing its cannons or something, or not being pathetically on land.
Mm-hmm.
I just think they lost the plot. I think it's aesthetically okay. I do agree. Like, let's treat the construction of the flag separate from the seal. I like the ribbon. I like the star. It's clear it's the seal of New Hampshire, so it's an inserted image. All that is good, but like if you look at some of the earlier versions of this, like the ship isn't at enough of an incline.
Okay, yeah.
And this is where it looks too much like the HMS Victory for comfort.
Okay, all right. I guess I can see that.
And then the ribbon inside is just consuming the ship, and the sun doesn't ruin the image as much as it should, but I really don't like the overlap.
They are trying to do a lot here, and maybe, if I can imagine this looking really shitty prior to vector graphics, like the municipal prints of these flags were probably really awful until like 2015.
And I have to call out the 1909 to 1931 flag while the seal being totally weighted wrong in the image addresses all of my other concerns.
And also their reckless use of the Latin sigillum republicae neo-hantoniensis.
Yeah, that's perfect.
There's something there.
But yeah, this is an aesthetically attractive flag, and if you can see through all the crap, it's okay. 4 and 4.
Okay.
All right, next. New Jersey. All right, This is the state seal on a smog yellow background.
I was thinking it's a urine yellow background, but
yeah, it could be. So the seal is a horse's head, and then 2 Roman ladies, one bearing a cornucopia and one with her hat on a pole, and then a shield with 3 plows. And then it says liberty and 1776 prosperity. across the bottom on the ribbon. This thing sucks. It just sucks. All of it sucks. I don't even want to talk about it. New Jersey, time for a new flag. I don't care that you adopted this in 1896. It's time for a change. So I'm going 1-1. This one sucks.
More like 1890. You're making me sick. Okay. There's many problems with this flag. The most prominent problem with this flag is the color choice of the field. I have never seen a New Jersey flag in the world, like an actual physical flag being flown, that didn't look faded. This is not a color that's sort of well designed to be put on a flag. It's just a bad choice.
They call it buff colored.
I'll give you a 1 for the severed horse's head for my metal score, and I'm gonna have to give you a 0.25 for quality. This is try harder, and that 0.25 is largely the ridiculousness of the cornucopia.
It's very low.
I actually think it's a 4 metal, because it's just all these metal images flying past you, decapitated horse,
plows,
suit, plows that look like razors.
They do look like razors.
Santa's hat on a pole. Maybe they killed him.
Hey, he looked at me
weird. What's in the sack, old man?
They bugged him. But
what are you doing on this roof?
It's like even the Liberty Prosperity 1776, the way that they use like blue gray, and I get it, they can only have way too many colors on this already. But I hate to say that this would be better if it was just a generic dark blue with the white bounded or circled seal, the separated seal just slapped in the middle of that. But that would be much better. Or keep the piss yellow and do blue on the top and bottom, and then the seal as a separate image. So yeah, it sucks. So it's a 1 and a 4.
So this isn't true, but as a kid, I always assumed that New Jersey's flag was yellow because it was like one of those optical illusion things. Like, did you ever see, like, have a book where it was the American flag?
Magic Eye.
Yeah, well, it was like the American flag, but it was like black and green and yellow or something, and you stared at it, and then you stared at a white wall, and the after image would be like the red, white, and blue flag. So I always assumed if you stared at the New Jersey flag long enough and then looked at like a sheet of paper, you would see the New York flag. But then I also realized that was ridiculous.
I don't know. We'll have to try it. Unfortunately, there is a state between New Jersey and New York.
Oh, fortunately, there's a state.
All right. What?
I was going to say, given what people associate New Jersey with, they might as well just take the Department of Transportation seal or the Turnpike Authority seal and just slap that on blue or white and call that the state flag. And it would make so much more sense to everyone who doesn't live there.
I like it.
Or even just a giant rat.
New Mexico. All right. This is a 2x3 flag adopted March 15th, 1925. The design is the red and gold of old Spain, and then the ancient Zia sun symbol in red on a field of yellow. The Zia is an indigenous nation centered at Zia Pueblo, a Native American reservation in the United States state of New Mexico. So this gets, from me, full marks. This is great. Well, not full marks, but this is a great flag. It's simple, but it's awesome.
Yeah. You're 100% right.
Definitely a high quality score. I'm gonna have to think about the metalness. It's just a sun. but it's you know, like everything good I want to say about the symbol is related to its quality and not so much its metalness. You know, I'm gonna put a preliminary 9.8 quality score on this, and then I'll figure out the metalness as we go on.
No, this is definitely I would agree. This is a 9.8 quality. It's metal.
Hey,
well, okay.
I have to interrupt you because there's a reconstruction of the unofficial state flag that was used in the 1915 San Diego World's Fair, and it is terrible.
Okay.
Oh no, that's
ass. That's the best flag I've ever seen.
It's like you could stick that in a mailbox and it goes somewhere.
It does. It looks like a letter that you're sending to New Mexico, and you write.
And the return address is America, and you got a 47-cent stamp. Yeah, boom,
done.
I would like to request that all state flags now contain the number of state they are.
Where are you going to put a 7 on Maryland's? Where?
We'll find a way. We'll put it in one of the crosslands.
But I'm guessing 47 cents wasn't enough for the postage, so you had to stick a quarter on the bottom right. Because that's the back of a quarter right there.
I also how they're trying to bamboozle us into believing that New Mexico is the Sunshine State.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
All right, go ahead. You were saying.
Okay, I after looking at this flag, I have to bump my quality score up to a 9.9 because the people who made this flag and the people who made the real flag are only divided by 10 years. And I'm also going to give a baseline 2 medal points because clearly this flag committee was murdered by the other flag committee. There's some.
I just noticed something else. This was designed. This is the only flag designed by a woman, Reba Mera.
Oh, okay. That's good. I like it. I like this. I like this flag a lot. It's a beautiful flag. But it's only middle of the road metal. Like I think it's emblematic. It's a great flag. I'm going to give this 6 metal score, just because this is a flaming sun. This reminds me of being parched in the desert. There's something metal about a symbol that's iconic, unforgettable, and that's all. Okay, here's my fucking symbol, and I'm out.
Hang on. I'm reading more about the symbol, and it might be more metal than you think it is.
Okay.
The Zia regard the sun as sacred. Their solar symbol, a red circle with groups of rays pointing in 4 directions, is painted on ceremonial vases drawn on the ground around campfires and used to introduce newborns to the sun. 4 is a sacred number of the Zia and can be found repeated in the 4 points radiated from the circle. The number 4 is embodied in the 4 points of the compass, the 4 seasons of the year, the 4 periods of each day, morning, noon, evening, night, the 4 seasons of life, childhood, youth, middle years, and old age, and the 4 sacred obligations one must develop: a strong body, a clear mind, a pure spirit, and a devotion to the welfare of others, according to Zia belief. So
it's an 8 now.
Well, yeah, I can't go that high because of the 4 sacred obligations. Only 3 of those are metal. The welfare of others is not metal. So
okay,
I'm gonna temper your score 8 with a 7 on the metalness.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 9 and 9. Right. I initially had some concerns. I had to do a bit of research because the sun symbol struck ignorant me as kind of a kitschy, mid-century Western interpretation of what native folks of that area would have done. But no, actually, that's very close.
It's totally something they would do, though.
Yeah, well, it's I don't want to put real in quotes, but you search for the sun symbol generically, they all look because the proportions and all look very kind of Art Deco.
Right. Yeah. And so there is that danger there, but I do think there is some authenticity of the symbol. And
there's been a lot of strife around the symbol and fights over who gets to use it and who gets to claim it. And that the process of strife is metal. So that's why it's a 9 and a 9.
All right. Sounds great.
All right. Next one is New York. Okay. To save time, I'm just tell you what's different between this and New Jersey. This was adopted April 2nd, 1901. Instead of urine yellow, it's blue. And then instead of a horse's head, there's an eagle standing on top of the planet. And then Lady Justice is replacing the lady with the ridiculously long cornucopia. There's still the hat on a pole lady. And then instead of whatever was instead of the plows, there's some really? I'm sorry. Instead of the plows, there's a scene of two boats about to pass each other on a river underneath a smiling sun. Yes, really.
Hold on, I gotta zoom in.
You gotta
on
zoom
sun.
in. You gotta see the smiling sun.
Look at that!
He's got his eyes.
Looks like a guy who's playing Big Bird and doesn't have the front of the mask on.
Yes. And then because of all the rays from the sun. And then they mugged Santa to get his hat, but at her foot is a crown, and then it says Excelsior e pluribus unum. So so it's a masted ship and a sloop on the Hudson River. Symbols of inland and foreign commerce. And it's a 3x5 flag. No, I'm sorry, it's a 1x2 flag. So it's
1x2.
Yeah, so it's long.
I don't like that at all.
And the two ladies are Liberty and Justice.
And they took the time in 2020 to update this without fundamentally changing it. And I don't know if that's metal or not. There was a global pandemic going on, and then they make minor changes to their state flag and say the old one works too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I Excelsior, by the way, means higher, superior, lordly, commonly translated as ever upward. We must go forward, not backward, upward, not forward, and always twirling towards freedom. So, flags bearing the pre-2020 coat of arms without the motto E pluribus unum are still widely used so long as serviceable, it says. So they added the E pluribus unum thing. So I would say this is better than the New Jersey flag, but only because of the detail that Liberty is standing on the crown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Excelsior is, just because you say it like this, it translates to something cool. But the happy sun is just awful. This eagle is standing on the planet. So
you're looking at it wrong. It's a crazy guy hiding by the paper mache mountain, looking over some miniature boats in a bathtub.
I'm gonna double my New Jersey scores and give it a 2 and a 2.
I like how you do it, but I like the way they look lifeless. The ladies, they've been drained of blood.
They're like totally bored. Like Liberty is just staring blankly towards the viewer. Even the eagle doesn't look like it's having the best time. I'm gonna give it a 3 metalness just because I really like that Liberty standing on the crown. The defiance there, but quality wise, this is a 2. And
I'd even go so high as a 5 metalness, but yeah, it is a 2 quality.
Well, I also don't like the double motto in the one tape. I feel like if you want to add a motto, you got to add another tape.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like the 2020 version, the version they used for a million years, is better.
Yeah.
So what is that? I take 1 metal away because Matt's right. Clarity is metal.
So 4 metal.
Oh, it got a 2, 3, 4 for metal.
Nice.
All right, next one is North Carolina. Adopted March 9th, 1885 and June 24th, 1991. It has, let me find the official design here. It's 2x3, a blue union containing in the center thereof a white star with the letter N in gilt on the left and the letter C in gilt on the right of said star. God, someone whoever wrote this is not from North Carolina, because they wouldn't have made such a complicated sentence.
That's definitely a flag nerd wrote that.
The circle containing the same to be 1/3 the width of the union. And hello, you forgot the red and white parts of the flag, which are also there, you idiot. So he spent too much time crafting this sentence. He forgot the entire rest of the flag, which is a red stripe and a white stripe. So the two dates are the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence on May 20th, 1775, and the Halifax Resolves, April 12th, 1776, documents that place North Carolina at the forefront of the American independence movement. Both dates also appear in the Seal of North Carolina. I like how they're getting pedantic. We left the British before most other states. To prove it, it's on our flag. May 20th is when we did it.
Well, it gets better, and we'll talk about this when we're considering the medal score. So the Halifax Resolves are probably real. But the Mecklenburg Declaration is almost certainly fake. It was not published until the 1819. People the likes of John Adams and Thomas Jefferson were pretty sure it was fake. And so I like doubling or tripling down on the lie.
They also, when they were leaving the Union, they talked about the Mecklenburg Declaration with reverence, attempting to connect it with the states joining the Confederacy.
So John Adams satirically said in 1819, either these resolutions are a plagiarism from Mr. Jefferson's Declaration of Independence, or Mr. Jefferson's declaration is a plagiarism from those.
Okay, well, I'm ready. Blatant lie on there that makes it metal. But this design is crap. It's no better than New York's with its lazy seal on a flag. So it's going to be a 2 and a. I have to up the metal for the lie. The blatant lie that they tripled down on. 4 for metal.
I think the lies make it a 4 metal. I actually don't think this design is all that bad. Of the Confederate states, I think this one is among the more palatable. So I'm going to give it a 4 quality.
I do like how the Confederate nature of the red and the white goes entirely unremarked on this Wikipedia page.
Yeah. Well, I do want to point out that the entire real Confederate flag is in the bottom right corner of this flag.
Oh, yeah.
See where it's all white when they surrendered?
Oh, I see what you did there.
Hey, I still don't have, but I do have this. Your fictitious country lost.
And I do like how they made it nearly 100 years with the ridiculous narrow blue band. And I hope it was very controversial to make the flag look good.
It's like, I don't think we can do that. It's got to be squished.
Yeah, I guess they get to lie here because there's like 3 license plates that talk about the state inventing aviation.
Right.
When it's actually true for them.
Yeah, except everyone who did it was from Ohio.
Shut up. It's not who, but where.
And Maryland.
That's right.
That's true. And Maryland.
Military aviation. We get to claim it. Mm-hmm. Okay. What was your? It's the Confederate stuff going unremarked. The Confederacy is not metal, but how we act around it collectively often is, to be clear. So it's and the lie, that's metal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a solid 4 metal. 4 quality too.
All right, let's move right along.
All right.
To North Dakota. Now, this flag has more going on than the rest of the state itself.
Yeah. This is the most populous thing in North Dakota.
All right, right. Ready for the proportion? 26-33.
Just burn in hell.
And it says 3x5, also in use. Let's see, it was adopted March 11, 1911, standardized in 1943. It is a unit banner carried by the state's troop in the Philippine-American War on a blue field. So this is slightly different than it's not a state seal, it's the state's troop contingent. So it is an eagle with the shield that you see on the president's seal, right?
Yeah, the chest shield thing.
Yep. And then the eagle is flying in front of a ribbon that says E pluribus unum. There's a bunch of stars. Let's see, 6, there's 12, 13 stars above it. And then like coronal rays around the stars. And then it is clutching a whole bunch of arrows in one talon. And that corn, what is that?
An olive branch.
Oh, olives. Olives suck. And then below that, it says North Dakota, kind of like, what was that? What was that other flag that had it wasn't.
Oh, yeah, that had the squiggly, the scrolly thing. That was Idaho, right next door. Idaho.
It's like that, only like well done, and it says in North Dakota in like colors that don't appear elsewhere on the flag too much.
I think it's pretty metal that so you just have the arty guy in the state's expeditionary force do up a battle flag real quick, and then whatever decisions he made that night are locked in forever.
Well, that's what we do now. I also like it's basically just a stylized version of the Great Seal of the United States. So I like how they're claiming the Great Seal of the country as their flag, but like a bootleg version of it. It looks cool. I really like the scrollios in the North Dakota ribbon. It looks metal. I mean, if you didn't know anything about North Dakota and I showed you this flag, you'd be like, well, that must be a pretty goddamn metal place. So I like the audacity of that. It's up there, actually, honestly.
Apparently, the state code specifies that the flag must be made of blue silk or some other material that is capable of withstanding the elements. I feel like silk wouldn't stand up to a North Dakota winter.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready to score. I'm going to give this a 7 metalness score. It's a Warriors banner. It looks cool. It has, even though I'm generally against stupid proportions, just the level of insanity of 33 by 26 for a stupid little short flag. That's metal. That's a 7 metal. And it's a 7 design. This is well designed. It's not the best design, but it's up there.
I'm going with a 5 quality, and the whole metalness of it comes from the arrows and the eagle and the infantry. The first North Dakota infantry during the Spanish-American War and the Philippine War.
Yeah, I mean it's a great fan depiction of the Great Seal. It looks good. It doesn't pass if you take the word North Dakota off the flag.
Oh yeah.
What state is this the flag for? Like there's absolutely no indication it has anything to do with the state. So that's a minor nick. So it's a 5 and 5.
But I would like to point out that this is a recurring North Dakota problem. So the North Dakota Great Seal is a tree, and a bunch of crap just strewn around a tree. And so it could have been North Dakota's flag could have been 1,000 times worse. So we have to give them some respect for that judgment.
Yeah, that's true. And you're right about it was a flag for battle and a pretty rough battle at that. So it's a 7 metalness.
Oh. I feel like my metal score is too low, but I was right the first time. Oh, no, wait. See, I was right. I knew it. I changed the wrong score. So now your score matches mine. So I was right.
Nice.
I'm comfortable with that. Okay. Last one for this episode. And
what a flag.
I have a feeling we're all going to either love it or hate it.
Controversial flag.
Ohio adopted May 9th, 1902. The proportion is 8 by 13. It was adopted May 9th, 1902. It's a Geeden. Is that how you say that word? G-U-I-D.
Geeden, I guess.
Geeden, consisting of, which is a military standard or flag that company, battery, troop, or platoon-sized detachments carry to signify their unit designation. But this is the actual one instead of being put on the flag. Anyway, 5 horizontal stripes alternating between red and white. The chevron is azure, containing a white and red O and 17 white stars. Designed by John ISENMOR, which means Iceman, like from Top Gun.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's called the Ohio Burgee. Burgee. It's a triangular swallowtail flag, so it's not square, it's triangular. The swallowtail means there's another chunk taken out of it. It's the only non-rectangular U.S. flag. And the disc, they call it a disc. These circles in the blue triangle are supposed to make you think of an O. Seriously.
And I did not know that until this moment. And it is drastically changing my opinion of this flag.
Hang on, it gets better. Ohio has adopted an official salute to the flag, and the official folding procedure gives it 17 folds.
What?
Prime number.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
Yeah.
That's a tedious fold. I was a patrol, so I had to both raise and lower the flag every morning and evening of the school day
Oh my God.
in 5th grade.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, folding the flag is a nerve-wracking, tedious operation. And I am glad I was not a patrol in Ohio, because this sucks.
Okay, here's the salute. I salute the flag of the state of Ohio and pledge to the Buckeye State respect and loyalty. Period. I like how brief it is. They didn't try. On the Wikipedia page, they have a GIF of how to fold the flag and the official description. Here we go. The General Assembly hereby establishes a recommended procedure for folding of the state flag by 2 people. The procedure is as follows. With the flag unfolded, fold the flag in half lengthwise so the points of the flag are aligned. Fold the flag in half lengthwise a second time to form a long strip with the red disc facing the ground. Next, fold the pointed end back on itself to form a rectangle. These steps entail 3 folds. Starting on the end formed by the fold of the pointed end back onto itself. Fold 2 inches of the flag onto itself for a flag with a 3-foot hoist and a 5-foot fly, or another appropriate width of fold for a flag of a different size. Period. Repeat the folds of a total of 14 times, alternating the folds in a fan-like manner. The result is a total of 17 folds, symbolizing that Ohio was the 17th state admitted to the Union. Finally, neatly and snugly wrap the remaining length of the flag around the fan folds to form a compact rectangle. No wonder the salute has nothing in it, because they spent all their time...
Yeah, they spent all their time folding the flag.
Figuring out how to get 17 folds in this flag. Anyway, yeah. If this flag was a rectangle, I would give it nothing.
Okay.
But it's triangular, it's the swallowtail thing. They have the OCD folding method. It's ridiculous. I have to give the metalness of this an 8, as well as the quality. But again, if it was a rectangle flag that looked like this, I'd say fuck this.
Yeah, it pains me to agree with you so thoroughly, but it's an 8 and an 8. I have problems disassociating this flag from the Ohio State and everything annoying about that, but I guess I shouldn't hold it against them.
A flag vendor in Arkansas has described the procedure as quite a challenge. This flag is metal as fuck. This is an 8. It's a military flag. They felt, they're like, well, we have the most ridiculous of flags. How will they know it's Ohio? Put an O on there. It's frustrating. It's confusing.
Yeah, I like how the O was kind of jammed in there. Like, it doesn't really work, which I think adds to its quality and metalness.
Do they explain what the stars are for?
I think it's 17 stars. State. That was the 17th state.
Oh. Is the flag, you could almost interpret it as a map, because you have Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus, and then those are the Akron, Dayton. Yeah.
Oh, is that Johnstown over there?
All the things in the triangle. Yeah. And then what the red thing represents is a mystery.
Well, that would be Columbus.
This is just so...
It's a puzzle box.
But there's a beltway around Columbus, so it's Columbus with the beltway.
Okay,
perfect.
Yeah.
Going back to the flag folding procedure, I keep thinking of that Simpsons episode where, like, using your main finger, turn it topwise.
Turn the north side topwise. Well, there was there was also the other. I think it was the Australian episode where the 2 Marines took the flag down and then ate it from both ends.
Yeah.
So what's your quality score?
Quality score, I get. There's it's like it's a shitty design. As much as I like the audacity of it, it was a 7 until I learned that circle is an O, and that's a full point deduction. So it's a quality. It's only a 6. It is not novel. It's novel, but it's not good. It's memorable, but not for good reasons. It's a flag disaster, but it's fucking metal and doesn't need to be good.
All right.
It's fun taking these like the things in the legislatively defined descriptions of flags and putting them in crayon and saying it never work at all.
Yep. All right. Well, until next time, Metal Nation, be sure to buy a Podcast Them Down shirt from steelresolve.com and fold it 17 times. We will send you the instructions. Keep it metal. Cast them down. Oh, yeah, and there's more flags coming, and a lot of them suck.